There's a lot of talk within the wrestling community that certain things that are going on in wrestling are hurting the business. And I want to unequivocally state that the wrestling business is not hurting whatsoever. Whether you're a wrestling purist who sees things like Izzy wrestling is a bad thing, which we will get to. We will talk about Izzy. Yes, that Izzy from WWE NXT. In a first time ever I've seen it happen, I mean, besides the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega fighting kids, seeing somebody that's been promoted on WWE in a first ever professional wrestling match. Guys like Joey Ryan, who people speculate kind of were killing the business because of what they were doing. Colt Cabana, the comedy wrestling. Whatever it may be, pro wrestling is doing better than ever. Kevin Owens, in a recent interview, he did quit WWE, but this was before he quit WWE. He had gave an interview and was talking about, you kind of got to attribute some of this success to WWE. Now, he was trying to put over ROH in a way that said, yes, they did sell out Madison Square Garden, but they chose to go there when WWE was there. And the fans are quick to jump and say, yes, ROH is piggybacking on WWE. They can never do it without them. But then the Young Bucks did it at the Sears Center. Pro wrestling is more alive than ever. Whether you're a fan of comedy wrestling, old-time wrestling, mat-based wrestling, UK wrestling, Australian wrestling, there has never been a better time in professional wrestling than right now. You can pretty much relive everything on the WWE Network for $9.99 a month, and whether you want to believe it or not, it's one hell of a deal. If you don't like WWE, you can subscribe to services like High Spots Network, IPV Video. You can pretty much powerbomb videos. You can pretty much go anywhere to find the wrestling that suits you. Evolve, WWN, WNN. It is a crazy time in professional wrestling, and to constantly hear people say that the business is getting destroyed is a little frustrating. WWE, if you're a fan of storytelling, has had some great stories in the past couple years, but the problem is, because it's 52 weeks of television, everybody expects WWE to keep it up nonstop. But they fail to realize, even in NXT, who has compelling stories, those compelling stories are stretched out over, 2 to 3 months between pay-per-views. When they tape, even though the stories and the writing is absolutely fantastic, the callbacks, like in the Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano matches, are fantastic. If they were out there every single week on a 3-hour show, it would get diluted, and it would not be as good with them having to have so much creative. Barring injuries, like down in the Mae Young Classic with Tegan Nox, unfortunately, you saw what happened if WWE has to alter their plans. Now imagine if that was to happen with NXT. I'm not defending WWE's main roster, but what I am saying is NXT with Triple H might be harmed if this was a live weekly thing and they had to rely on constantly updating stories. They're giving the benefit of the doubt being able to plan so far ahead and execute it at tape shows, while companies like TNA Impact kind of are looked down upon, or some people may think it's not as good. I applaud the changes TNA has made, although the ratings have suffered lately. The business itself is phenomenal. You're getting British wrestling now its second show. You have World of Wrestling. With WOS on air, and then Progress taping for TV, I don't understand how people can say that the wrestling business is hurting or this is going to kill the professional wrestling business. Because you can't right now. WWE has signed the biggest TV deal, or will finalize the biggest TV wrestling deal in history, increasing their revenue by not doing anything more than what they're doing now. So everybody can sit at home and complain about WWE and have this up on a high horse of, well, the stories have to be better. Okay, you're right. If you're a wrestling fan that wants stories, they may not happen as quick as you want, but WWE is making hand over fist. And unless you're willing to step up and stop giving them money, complaining all the time when the casual fans who are enjoying it, you're the one that's kind of helping kill the business, or at least drive disdain for it. Now, I've been there. I know it sucks sometimes to watch Raw and SmackDown when the booking's not good. It's easy to blame people like Road Dogg or the writing team or Vince McMahon, but at the end of the day, the business itself is more successful than ever. So while the stories may not be as good as they once were, the business is better than ever. And on the lines of what happened this week with Izzy wrestling her first ever professional wrestling match, it sparked a huge debate within pro wrestling. The likes of Lance Storm and Chelsea Green have come out against it. That while Izzy was training, it was always mat-based training, and she should stick to that. We never have her took bumps. For those that don't know, Izzy from WWE NXT, NXT Kids, from Fullsail, has been training to wrestle, and there's nothing wrong with that. As much as it does go against the mission of WWE saying don't try this at home, she is practicing and training in a safe environment surrounded by people that, are watching out for her. The match itself was with a professional wrestler who is trained and was able to take care of her. Now, there's never going to be a perfect circumstance, and I'm not advocating for kids wrestling, but guys like Joey Ryan bring up an interesting point. Now, if you don't know famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan, famous dead dick wrestler Joey Ryan, according to Hangman Page, as being the Elite storyline, what they're doing is huge. What's going on in WWE right now and outside of WWE, especially with intergender matches, which intergender matches to a lot of people are breaking the kayfabe. It's not real because it's not real. But wrestling isn't real. Wrestling is scripted. We like to tell people that wrestling isn't fake. It's scripted, but those that are inside or watch the business are the ones that complain the most when something is faked. Joey Ryan is putting ass in seats whether you like him or not. You think it's stupid. Guys like Cornette or Vince Russo, they may be against that because they are from a different time. I can't explain why people like seeing Joey Ryan get his dick grabbed, but they do. And Joey Ryan's buying houses and supporting his family. And at the end of the day, as long as the paying fan is happy, that's all that matters. And outside of WWE, there's a lot of happy pro wrestling fans because the business is doing better than ever. So I don't understand the comments saying that it's hurting the business. Yeah, it is awkward to see Izzy take a chokeslam. It is weird to see a child wrestling. I'm not advocating for it. I'm not saying I want to see Izzy wrestle more. She confirmed it was her only match, but wrestling is for everyone. I'd rather have her in there with a trained superstar than, like Joey Ryan said, of putting her in with somebody younger or somebody not experienced. She was pretty protected from the moves we saw, and to be honest with you, it was selling it. Leva Bates was there. Blue Pants, for those that don't know, from NXT. Now, I'm not saying I want to see her wrestle again, but I also agree with the other points that people in other sports start training young. In Joey's thread when he tweeted out the unpopular opinion supporting it, it is true that among major sports like football, some of my favorite players have had to retire. Growing up watching the University of Wisconsin, we had a lot of great guys that went on to play with the 49ers. And in the 49ers, one of the guys was like Rudy. He was a smaller dude, went on to play linebacker for the 49ers and retired due to concussion concerns. And then you started watching more players. And you look at them practicing and being in full contact sports nonstop from young ages. And is professional wrestling any different? You can quote people's bodies getting damaged or getting hurt or whatever, but that's at the choice of the individual. If they're willing to sign away their rights, they're willing to sign away their rights. It's like any professional athlete that knows the risk of CTE or life-threatening injuries. Whether they play it for the money, whether they play it for the passion, it doesn't matter. We all make choices just like wrestlers like Joey Ryan are choosing to use their dick for money. It's bought him a house, so who are we to say it's killing the business? He keeps getting booked. He keeps being shown and flown everywhere. So what is it hurting? If you don't like Joey Ryan, go watch Progress. If you don't like Progress, go watch WWE. If you don't like WWE, go watch TNA. If you don't like TNA, go watch AAA. There's a lot of professional wrestling, and I think the one reason it gets the most flack is because of the fact that WWE at times may not be that good. And since WWE is the hallbearer, they are the top dog, people think that, well, what's the point of doing all this stuff on the outside because it won't work in WWE? And not everybody's goal has to be getting in WWE. It's great to get in WWE, and it's one hell of an exposure for a talent. But at the end of the day, there is wrestling outside of WWE, and there's always going to be niche markets that people can cater to. So when somebody asks me, Tubby, what do you think of this killing the business? Show me where it's killing the business. Show me the companies that are going out of business because of Joey Ryan's dick. Show me the companies that are going out of business because Izzy took a choke slam. Because as far as I saw, the paying audience, whether right or wrong of her wrestling, they popped. If I'm running an event and my fans by the end of the event aren't chanting for a refund or demanding their money back and never showing back up again, what is it hurting? Honestly, I would love to know, for those people that are very cynical against the business and think the state of professional wrestling is in disarray, show me those places that it's affecting. MLW's got a TV deal with Fusion, and MLW Fusion is actually a very good show. You have Lucha Underground. There's so much professional wrestling to get caught up in saying a business is hurting. And then to argue over the fact that ROH is only successful because they're running in Madison Square Garden during WWE weekend is even sillier. If you ran a business, I'd probably do it too. So I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on the business. Let me know truthfully. Am I wrong? Is the payoff this far-fetched idea that we can all live in one ecosystem? If you don't like this kind of wrestling, go watch that kind of wrestling. There's a company you like more, throw your money behind them. Because I think professional wrestling is doing better than ever. And if you can't see that, I can't help you. But until next time, it's your boy Eric, known on the internet as Tubby Emu. And I'll make sure to be back with more of these hard-hitting stuff. And if there's any topics you want me to talk about, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. But until next time, we will see you all later. Too sweet me.